And we want to introduce our guest host for this week, Mr. Scotty Gavlin. I'm sorry I called you Scotty.
No, that's what I go by. Scotty is long for Scott, so I'm cool with it.
All right,
I'm totally cool with it.
Scott, thank you for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I'm excited about this.
All right.
Spurs up. All right.
Spurs up, yeah. All right, following off what they said in the streets, now we're going to talk about Donald Trump in sports. Now, obviously, he had his comments in the NFL and his Stephen Curry rant. We all know what happened. So what's your opinion about it?
My opinion personally is I don't have near the responsibility or people looking up to me or any of that. And I know for a fact you don't say the things that Donald Trump's saying. It's completely disrespectful to a ridiculously large amount of people, not just the NFL players, but just people in our culture to begin with. To say what he's saying, like, you just don't do that, especially in his position. And so I see where his intentions were, but you just can't do what he did.
I agree exactly. I agree with exactly what you said, because I mean, Donald Trump is in a position of authority. He's in the biggest position of authority, and he shouldn't be canceling out anybody or anybody's beliefs or anybody's things like that. And the fact that he did it so blatantly, I am completely not surprised that the NFL is acting this way. And I think some people are, but I mean, the NFL is a brotherhood. If you start singling out one person or singling out anybody, everybody's gonna follow, and you've seen that in the last couple of weeks. And
I'm surprised by the grief and the anger that's come from our country really following this weekend, because this is like really personally. I understood and respected all the NFL players that were taking knees and the stance that they were making. I understood it, but this was the first week that I was like supportive of it. I was like, first of all, even if you weren't behind it in the first place, the fact that your president's saying that about your teammates and your brothers, just stand by that. You know what I'm saying?
You can't fault them for wanting to be or wanting to support anybody else on their team. It's just how we would support our family, whether it's the family we have at home or whether it's our family here at SGTV. We support everybody, and I mean that's what I don't understand, because people are giving them flack for just being there and supporting one another. And so what was a big thing for me is the fact that you saw all these owners actually go down on the field too. Like for me, I'm a Redskins fan. Daniel Snyder never does anything, and I mean literally nothing. He's a terrible owner, but he came down and he was right there with the players, and I was like, oh my gosh, he actually got off his butt and did something.
You know, and it's a lot of things, because a lot of owners are being supportive, and there are a lot of fans who are against this. A lot of fans are being supportive, but there are more fans being against it because they think it's disrespectful to our country and flag and actually the national anthem. But it's just more than that to so many people. First it started with Colin Kaepernick, and then, you know, obviously Trump had his words with him, and just the SOB. It's a lot of things that got out of hand, and obviously the Stephen Curry thing, which also is joining unity with different sports. MLB is doing it for the playoffs. NBA, we don't know what that may happen.
We haven't seen that yet.
We haven't seen that happen.
We've seen LeBron being very outspoken about it, and I'm sure he's going to have
140 characters. I'm so really surprised by the fan reaction to being so angry about the players are doing, but not seem to be as angry about what Donald Trump said.
That's a big part for me, because I mean, these players are on a stage where they can. I mean, Colin Kaepernick was the first one to do it. He got a lot of flack. I understand why he gets flack for what he did, because he was the first one to do it. He's going to get flack. Now I think it's ridiculous that he's not on a roster, but we've already talked about that. But back to my point is that Donald Trump seems to not be in the news because he keeps on doing outlandish things. So like it's one thing after another, so it doesn't sit.
Super expected.
It's like the first time, not to talk about politics, but it's like the first time I've ever seen someone in that job not get anything to stick like that.
And also to see the backlash that players like Alejandro Villanueva. As a Steelers fan, it was really hard. Like whenever I watched the Steelers and heard what they were doing with them staying in the locker room, like if you look at the pictures, you can see a lot of the players still in the tunnel, like saluting flags and like that. And then they had this like group decision that they're all going to stay in the locker room. But Alejandro Villanueva, who has actually given time to our country, to see him have to come out and apologize for standing for the flag. As a Steelers fan, I was like proud of him for getting the chance to. Like he earned that right.
I mean, he's the guy, for those who don't know, he was in the military. Was it the Navy? Or I don't remember exactly which one it was. But like he was in the military, and for him, the national anthem means so much. And you can understand why he wanted to be out there. But for him to come back on that and say, I'm sorry for doing that, I find that's how you know that this is such a big deal right now.
It's like he apologized more than Antonio Brown did before the Instagram gate. You know, so like.
Well, moving forward, we hope that this joins a lot of unity instead of controversy. Now, moving on, we're going to talk about Rick Pitino, the scandal. Rick Pitino, obviously, September 26th, which was a couple of days ago, he actually is he was fired. You know, he's under investigation for play-for-play. Actually, Adidas executive actually paid $100,000 to families to come play for Louisville. That's a lot of money.
So much. Like Adidas. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I mean, y'all broke Derrick Rose's
I won't do much,
but I mean, help me, please, my stuff. But obviously they've been paying top-ranked recruits $100,000 to come play with them and sponsor them later in the NBA. And for an example, Brian Bowen, who's a 5-star recruit and who just recently committed to Louisville, has been suspended definitely until further notice. So are you guys surprised by this? And the next question is, do you think coaches should just step up and be accountable for it?
Surprised, no, because this happens all the time. Louisville just got caught, and Adidas got caught. I mean, it happens everywhere. It would be ridiculous to say it doesn't happen, because at schools, as much as I used to be I still am a North Carolina fan growing up. I'm sure North Carolina's done a lot of stuff. Okay, I'm sorry, D, because
Tar Heel Blue is faithful,
right.
forever faithful.
Okay, I'll bring up a different college, Duke. Can I make fun of Duke then, D?
You should.
But
I'm cool with
okay,
it.
so I mean, Duke, a school like Duke. Sorry, I used UNC as the example. They just were the first one that came to mind. I'm sorry, buddy. But these players, and I mean, it happens at every college campus, no matter what sport it is. They get benefits, they get things like this. Now, this is just to a huge standard, and they got caught doing it. So yes, Rick Pitino is going to be gone. It's going to be weird not seeing him on that bench, pretty much coaching.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just going to be something to learn from by these coaches, and like maybe not get caught, number one, and first of all, don't do it, because I mean, these kids are already getting all this stuff. I mean, you can make the argument that they should be getting paid and whatnot, but they shouldn't be getting paid by like
That's a different
Adidas.
episode. That's a different episode. The thing that surprised me first and foremost was Rick Pitino and his the way people look at him and just his image. He just seems like such a hard hitter and just like straightforward, classic, traditional. And so to see this coming from him surprised me to a degree. But like you said, I know people that are going to much smaller institutions than Louisville, and they're finding a little bit of money under the table per game. And so that, in regards, isn't as surprising, especially with basketball. You have less players, so the cash amount can go up more. So it's not like super surprising, but the fact that it was Rick Pitino makes me a little bit more surprised.
Yeah, like Rick Pitino is one of those coaches you're always like, he goes on the level almost of like, now he's probably a little bit lower in some people's eyes, but he on like John Calipari, Roy Williams, and you can go down the list, and I still have John Wooden number one, that's me, but like you can still put them all on this same thing, even Bill Self, stuff like that, on that same level of coaches that you immediately respect, and for it to be him and it blatantly comes out, it reminds me of the Sandusky thing with in Penn State, because it was the same thing, because everybody loved Joe Paterno.
Yeah, like you said, obviously, you know, teams do it all the time, but Louisville got caught. I'm just surprised that Calipari in Kentucky didn't get caught. I'm still wondering about this theory about how do you get five starting freshmen and they go to the Final Four. Something ain't right.
And when he takes Zion from South Carolina in a couple years, we'll be really mad.
That's just rude. Who's the football coach for Louisville again?
I don't know.
Oh Lord, what's his name?
It's
gonna bother me. Yeah, it's not Bielema. No, it's Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, at first I thought it was him that I said. I was like, oh, wants to know. Right. But then I saw it was Rick. I was like, Rick, come on. So yeah.
You just won a championship in 2013. Rick.
I just want one good guy.
You're a champion, Rick. You know better. You know better. But hopefully all things work out for Rick. Now we're gonna send it over to our plays of the week with Jordan and Carter.
Thanks, guys. I'm Carter Furr alongside Jordan Beater with your top plays of the week.
Aaron Judge proved this week that he had overcome his post-All-Star game slump when he hit his 50th home run to break the record for home runs in a rookie season. Judge hit the homer, which was his second of the game, in the bottom of the 7th against the Royals. Mark McGwire previously held the record, and Judge's 50 homers are the 9th most in a season in Yankees history, more than legends Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. Judge also holds the record for longest home run of the season at 495 feet and the hardest hit home run at 121 miles per hour. Judge won the Home Run Derby in Miami this summer and is well on his way to being a contender for AL Rookie of the Year.
Switching gears and heading over to Europe, this next play features 18-year-old soccer sensation Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe was recently signed by Paris Saint-Germain for £162 million, the second most expensive player of all time. And so far, he's living up to that hefty price tag. In Wednesday's Champions League matchup against FC Bayern Munich, Mbappe created the first goal of the game, banishing defender David Alaba to another dimension with a fake shot before setting up teammate Neymar Jr. for a tap-in goal. Mbappe is widely considered to be the next great soccer superstar and is already being mentioned in the top 5 in the world by some.
Thanks for checking out the top plays of this week. With Carter Furr, I'm Jordan Beaner, and we'll see you next week with more top plays.
All right, much love to Carter and Jordan. Thank you for the plays of the week. Now we're about to end the show for this week. Scotty, whatever you want me to call you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey,
man.
appreciate it. I really had a really good time with you guys. A lot of good insight. Enjoyable time.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully you can come back sometime soon.
That's my goal. I love that.
Make sure you guys follow us on social media on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook for more content. And also, please subscribe to YouTube for more content as well. On behalf of Capital City Sports and for Spurs Up for episode 4, I'm D'Angelo Stevenson.
I'm Scotty Gavlin.
And I'm Ben
He
Parsons.
done forgot his name.
I thought we were skipping over. I'm like, I don't know.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.